In this video, I am sharing one of my true passions, and that is to encourage people like yourselves to begin your own woodworking business. Hopefully we can share some ideas to get you moving in the right direction. So let's get into it and share some tips to get started. If you are at home and you are limited for space, this doesn't have to be a major concern. For instance, we first got into woodworking as wood carvers. And to get started with wood carving, all you need is a sturdy table, a clamp, and some gouges. You can start in a simple way making small items like pendants, key rings. This is a great way to start your business because these are inexpensive items, they're quick to make, and they don't require lots of room to do so. Using my own example, when I began wood carving, I would carve simple 5-petal flowers upon key rings. That's all I used to do. I made one, I put it in the workshop to sell, and somebody bought it. Made another, somebody else bought it. So I decided that I would make 10 of them. And after a couple of weeks, Dad came up to me and he asked me, can you make some more? When I asked him why, he said it's because you've sold them all. A simple little gift item, and already I generated some income from it. Using that example, if you price it at, for instance, £3 or £4 or dollars, and you sell 10 of them, you've made yourself £30 or £40 from the work that you've done. And whilst you're doing this, you're learning, you're developing, you're improving your skills as you go along. The aspect of woodworking that I am focused upon is making gift items. This ranges from the very simple right up to the more intricate. A key ingredient you're going to have when starting your woodworking business at home or elsewhere is passion. It has to be something that you are fully committed to. Woodworking is time consuming. It takes up considerable time to design and craft whatever you are making. Some of you might have previous experience where you're doing it as a hobby or an interest, or you're already selling some of the things that you do. So you'll be well aware of the time, the skill required to make gift items. As you spend more time doing things, your skills will develop and you'll be able to offer a wider range of items for your potential customers. Like most things in life, the first key ingredient is making that commitment to do it. Focus on the idea that you believe will be the basis for your business and start working towards doing it. But remember, if your first idea proves unsuccessful, seek other opportunities. Using our own example, our family workshop is based around the Welsh love spoon tradition, something that we're truly passionate about. But in recent years, we've found ourselves looking for other items, other projects that we can introduce to develop what we have. Key rings, fridge magnets, candle holders, Christmas decorations, all sorts of different projects and items. Another key area is design. Now, design allows us to have a point of interest, something a little bit different from everybody else. If you can stand out from the crowd, that gives you a massive advantage when it comes to selling. But again, we don't want you to worry about that and see that as a barrier. If you are not confident in your artistic abilities, your creative abilities to design stuff, do not despair. We provide lots of free templates and designs on our website that you're more than welcome to use to get you started. But I would suggest as a top tip, have a go at designing. The best creative designs and the best things that you will have the most passion about making will be entirely your own designs. Because they are your ideas from start to finish, they will suit you best and be the best reflection of you as a creative individual. Furthering this point, one thing that we use as a cornerstone of our work is to put a message and a story into your work. I see this as like building the foundation of your house. If your message is a simple message of I love you, you can think of an idea around that to develop a design to express this message. So if you have a message and a story to tell through your whole work, it gives you an extra dimension. And again, it helps you to stand out in a crowded marketplace. If you're starting a woodworking business at home, there are practical elements to think of. We touched on it already. If you are limited for space, you can get started, for instance, with wood carving with just a clamp and a table. However, there are other considerations. Machinery, equipment. Judge it accordingly to the space that you have. The machine that would be top of my list for starting my business today is one that I didn't get hold of until after 20 years of being in business, and that is the scroll saw. The scroll saw is a fantastic piece of equipment because it allows us to make all sorts of different gift items, from the very simple up to the very complex. It gives you that opportunity to create when having limited space, and you can use smaller pieces of wood up to larger pieces of wood. This gives us more flexibility when it comes to sourcing the raw material. This brings us nicely onto the wood itself. Now I know it's popular where people are making items from pallet wood, softwoods, these sorts of things. Now I'm not saying anything bad about those, I'm only sharing my own experience. And if you gave me the choice between hardwoods and softwoods, I'm a wood carver, and hardwoods, as a general rule, give me a better quality finish when it comes to the items that I make. Equally with scroll sawing, my own personal preference is to work in hardwoods, and it all comes down to quality. However, when getting started, if you have the opportunity to access softwood and pallet wood at a low cost or at no cost at all, that can be a great route for you to develop your woodworking business. Equally, if you have access to hardwoods and you can get hold of them, then again, that's the best route for you to go down. Sharing a few ideas on how we can go about doing this, you have things like pallets that companies may have used and no longer want. You could get hold of these for absolutely nothing. If so, it can be a great way of starting that business at very low cost, allowing you to invest in things like equipment. Hardwoods. We often go to charity shops, auctions, sales, house clearances, and find old furniture that is in disrepair, no longer wanted, and available for next to nothing. Brilliant resource for timber. You don't have to worry about the seasoning, you don't have to worry about the storing, you can break it up and away you go and start making different items. In terms of organizing then, you may want to start off with a few different sized items. So for example, we make larger items like clocks, love spoons and candle holders, but we also make small items like jewelry, pin badges and fridge magnets. So what we will do, we will mark out, for example, a clock on a piece of wood, and around this then you will have smaller offcuts. So instead of throwing these offcuts away, you can then use these to make a simple piece of jewelry, maximizing what you can get out of the resources that you have available to you. Another area that we can focus upon, and that is how you are going to be able to get your work to your potential customers. When starting your business at home, this can be a key difference between success and failure. You have to have a plan for presenting what you have to an audience. So if we look at some of the ways that you can do this, firstly, online is a fantastic way to share whatever you're doing. Develop a website. Again, this requires time and the development of new skills, but it's a fantastic way for you to be able to present what you're doing to a wide audience. It's the biggest shop window that's available to you. So if you can set up an e-commerce or use something like Etsy, eBay, all of these things can be a great basis for adding that key element of sales to what you're doing. Other opportunities include markets and craft fairs, these sorts of things. Please be aware though that they can be time consuming and often hit and miss. At craft fairs you've got a lot of competition, and over the years we found that people go to craft fairs not just looking for items to buy, but looking for ideas and products that they can have a go at making themselves. But it's definitely worth giving craft fairs and markets a try because they could be the key aspect for you to achieve success. To share our own experience, what we actually did was to invite the customer into our workplace here at our home. We advertised using things like leaflets and adverts in newspapers to get customers more aware of our existence, and they could come and see what we make and buy the things they like. If you choose to do this, it's a great way to be able to interact with your customer, but you need things of interest for them. If you have a story to tell, you can share it with them. You can share your passion. Demonstrate what you do. Don't be afraid to share the process of what you're doing with your customer. You'll be amazed at how interested they are to see somebody working with their hands and crafting wood into all sorts of different forms. Again, focusing on our own example, we began here having a unique collection of family love spoons, all with a story and a message to tell. And that allowed us then to open up our workshop and to share the stories with people, to demonstrate our skills, and then to sell them the items that we'd made for them to buy. If you're interested in learning more about woodworking, scroll sawing, or wood carving, check out the other videos on our channel. There's loads of tips and projects and ideas to help to point you in the right direction. If you're at that point where you're thinking of starting your own business, feel free, get in touch, put a comment in the comments section, ask us any questions, use any of the free resources that we have available on our website. I'll put a link in the description below for you. And also, let us know if you have any specific areas that you feel are holding you back in your dream of becoming a full-time woodworker. For all of you established woodworkers who continue to support our channel, if you could help out by sharing any of your experiences in the comment section, I think it would be really useful for any new woodworkers who are watching this video. Hopefully that's been an interesting little insight. And don't forget, as always, we will be back again soon with more videos.